Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's session on MSc Social Innovation. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. My name's Balji, I'll be your host, and we're joined today by Gillian Bunny. That will be going through our programme session today. It's just a couple of quick housekeeping notes. All microphones and cameras are disabled. And if you have any questions at any point, please pop them in the chat box. And we'll answer the questions a little bit later on for you. So now I'm just going to pass over to Gillian. Thanks.
Thank you. Hello. Welcome to this online information session for the MSc Social Innovation. My name is Dr. Jill Murray. I'm a Senior Research Fellow based at the Eunice Centre for Social Business and Health, one of our research centres here at GCU. And I'm also Programme Leader for the Social Innovation MSc. So I'm delighted to be hosting this webinar today. I've worked at GCU since 2014, researching aspects of social innovation, social economy, and more recently, community wealth building. It's a dynamic and constantly evolving field with particularly strong relationships between the academic community, grassroots social innovators and policymakers. And for me, that real world connections are what makes it so exciting to kind of research and work within the social innovation field. And our programme design reflects the importance of these relationships. So as well as the academic learning, we also embed ways for you to start to build your networks and your connections, whether it's academic, practitioner, policymaker, for yourselves, because we want you to be the next generation of social innovators. So today we'll do a wee overview. First and importantly, a really significant question is, what is social innovation? We'll chat a little bit about that. Then I'll give you a programme overview, why GCU is a great place to do this course. I'll give you a little bit more insight into the kind of teaching and learning structure of the programme, and also some really important parts on how we engage with the social innovation sector and how we can build employability through the programme. And I'll also give you a wee bit of information on our Chancellor Eunice Scholarship. And then, of course, most importantly of all, there will be time for your questions. So let's get started. What is social innovation? So to start with a broad definition, social innovations are innovations that address social challenges, such as poverty, unemployment, climate crisis. So this might include new ways to support the education of marginalised children, or ways to support unemployed people into work. Often, social innovations will attempt to tackle more than one issue at a time. So, for example, if you want to end homelessness, building new homes is not enough. You have to support people through issues of personal well-being, as well as addressing systemic issues such as access to jobs, as well as that crucial access to homes and better qualities of accommodation. Perhaps if you're particularly socially innovative, you'll seek to identify ways that can allow you to address homelessness by also building homes and jobs that address climate challenge. So this is just a wee insight into how, social innovation seeks to achieve social goals in ways that promote social good. So it's not just kind of what you do that's important, it's the way that you do it that makes your activities socially innovative. So these social innovations might seek to build cross-sector partnership working and perhaps promote inclusive and democratic models of business. I always like to tell the students on our programme that what social innovation is continually being debated and redefined. And definitions are attuned to local context. reflecting the need for a kind of global conversation on how we address the world's most pressing challenges. And that's why on the programme at GCU, we very much focus on the importance of place throughout the programme. And this closely aligns with GCU's common good mission and advocacy for the advancement of the UN's Sustainable Development Goals. So, just to give you a little overview of the programme, what we seek to do is equip our students to think creatively and critically about the kind of world that you would like to co-create. So as well as that intellectual development and knowledge on what social innovation is, you of course need the practical skills for team building and co-creation too. And the programme develops your understanding of the tools and techniques available to manage, develop, and encourage social innovation in diverse global contexts. So, what the skills you'll gain develop, as I say, professional and academic skills that will be essential to securing a fulfilling career as effective ethical managers and change leaders across the public, private, and third sectors. We have examples of students working across all three of those sectors. The Social Innovation Programme is designed for people from really diverse backgrounds who are interested in being part of this kind of global community of people seeking sustainable solutions to the world's most pressing problems. So we have students attracted to the programme from a range of disciplinary backgrounds. It might include business studies, social sciences, finance. We even have graphic designers who have been really excellent students as part of our programme. And we actively encourage students to connect their personal skills and background to the pursuit of social innovation. So it doesn't matter really what kind of disciplinary background you come from, it's what you bring to this concept of social innovation that's important. Because, if you think about it, we need everyone to tackle the multiple challenges that we're facing in our world today. So, why should you come to GCU to study this programme? Well, our programme is deeply connected with the social innovation sector here in Scotland, and that sector is internationally recognised as one of the world's most supportive environments for social innovation. And GCU, because of our long heritage, we're celebrating 15 years of the UNIS Centre this year, so we've been working with Scotland's third sector for over a decade to facilitate our research, and that close connections in our research are built through the programme and really help you build your professional networks and enhance your employability. As I mentioned, I'm based in the UNIS Centre, and so is this programme. It's led by the UNIS Centre for Social Business and Health, GCU's globally recognised centre for research, ensuring that the latest research in social innovation and social finance is really embedded into the programme's teaching and learning. And I'll tell you a bit more about that teaching and learning in a moment. But I think what's also is a really crucial part of the programme is you can study where these dialogues of social innovation that originate from the global north and the global south meet. So the UNIS Centre is part of a global research network. It's inspired by the pioneering work of Nobel Prize winner Professor Muhammad Yunus, who pioneered microfinance in Bangladesh. So this kind of global outlook, combined with Scotland's rich social innovation practice, means GCU is a really perfect entry point to the global social innovation community. So let's have a look at some more details. So this is a kind of structure of our module outlines here on the programme. So as you can see, over your master's year, the teaching and learning is divided into three trimesters, A, B, and C. In trimester A, you take 4 modules. The first is called Social Innovation and Alternative Economic Forms. That's led by myself. And that really gives you the kind of theoretical background to social innovation and how definitions and understandings of social innovation compare across global contexts. So it's really led by the research of myself and my colleagues at the Eunice Centre. But we also, to enhance the kind of global conversation, bring in guest lectures from our colleagues in Italy and Nigeria, and also kind of global policy leaders to give that really good rounded discussion and learning. The next module, Social Innovation Solutions, that's also led by myself. And where the first module is about the kind of the theory and the definitions and that core knowledge about social innovation, this one is much more practice-led. It's much more experiential and hands-on, where you'll learn how to co-create your own social venture blueprint. And to do so, you'll really hear from the kind of grassroots practitioners here in Scotland, learning about what they're doing here, how they're applying these ideas of social innovation, the challenges and opportunities of taking ideas forward. And as well as kind of guest lectures into the classroom, we also go out onto site visits. So you can start to build those networks with grassroots practitioners for yourselves. Also, as part of that semester, you take a module on transformative social science. This is a really important module for developing your kind of underpinning knowledge and critical thinking on social challenges. Again, it's a very practice-based module, and students develop their own case studies as part of the module. Ethics, governance, and sustainability, again, foundational knowledge in key issues for decision-making and corporate responsibility. So together, that gives you a really good kind of introduction into the kind of core knowledge of the programme, and also starts to kind of get you into practical skills too. In trimester B, again, there's 4 modules: applied social marketing. This is a really important module, and it's often a favourite of the students on the programme because it's taught through a real-life case study method where you can really unleash your creativity. And it's a really important skill to develop because you can have the best, most innovative idea in the world, but you need to be able to communicate that idea well if you're going to create positive change as a result of your project or your initiative. Program management is also part of this semester. And this is a module that students report really serves them well in the workplace after their studies, because you learn how to use project management software to plan, manage, and adapt projects both in person and remotely. Social finance is the 3rd module on this semester. Again, this builds from core Eunice Centre research and expertise in this area, introducing you to the global and local evolution of social finance. And through that module, you'll develop kind of critical awareness of what social finance is in different economies. It covers different types of social finance, operations, and also the kind of more controversial elements of social finance along the way. The final module on trimester B prepares you for your dissertation project by introducing you to core qualitative and quantitative research methods. And you'll plan your research project as part of that module. In trimester C, as you can see, there are only 2 modules: developing leadership for the common good, which focuses on your leadership skills and your personal development. Your main focus in that trimester is your dissertation project, which is your chance to develop and direct your own piece of social innovation research. And that is supported by one-to-one supervision to help you on that kind of independent learning journey. Across the semesters, We facilitate your core intellectual and research skills alongside professional skills and competencies. So this is a really varied program of learning, and that is also reflected in varied forms of assessment. So just as I've indicated, you'll have lectures, you'll have real world projects, you'll have case studies as part of your classwork. Your assessments will also be through essay writing, presentations, and consultancy style group work. So that's a little introduction to the module structure. But what happens next? Once you've got your degree, what kind of things does it open doors into? So our social innovation expertise is embedded across the program's teaching and learning. So this is part of guest lectures. We also run a series of public lectures from the UNIS Centre that we encourage our students to participate in. As I mentioned, we also do site visits, and I'm always on hand for one-to-one discussions in how to pursue volunteering and placement opportunities based on your personal interests and your background. And the programme, in terms of employability, aims to prepare students that intend to kind of pursue a career in the social innovation field. And this can be broadly defined as kind of perhaps working in NGOs or charities, working within local and national government, perhaps in policy roles, or perhaps starting your own kind of social enterprise or social innovation initiatives. We also see students going on into academia as following the course as well. So, and one thing I've noticed is sometimes students come into the program because they have a little bit of experience in these areas and they want to continue and kind of grow and develop further. Or sometimes it's actually just preparing them to launch into a kind of a new direction in their career and their interests. But either way, we seek to kind of, build on your current skills and get you to where you want to go in the future. So just a couple of examples of what our students have gone on to do recently. We have some of our students, as I mentioned, secure PhD funding and go on to do their doctoral thesis. Just in the last couple of months, we've had more students employed in social enterprises here in Scotland, including Decami, which supports global majority entrepreneurship here in Scotland, and the Spirit of Springburn, which is a kind of community social innovation here in Glasgow. And the kind of skills learnt as part of the programme are really crucial in securing those posts for our students. Also, students are kind of big use, the opportunities here at GCU to start to kind of develop their own capacities and networks. So one of our students ran some workshops earlier this year for the Garnet Hill Multicultural Centre, and that followed on just from a little site visit we did as part of class. She got talking to the people working there, discussed what she could bring to the centre, and a great opportunity arose just out of that conversation. So that's the kind of things we seek to develop, give you opportunities, get you in the room with the right people, and allow you to take it from there. Lastly, I just want to mention the Chancellor Yunus Scholarship, obviously named after Professor Mohammed Yunus, the namesake of our centre. And this scholarship provides £7,000 towards tuition fees for the programme starting in September 2026. Applicants to the scholarship must have an offer from GCU to study the course, but full details are on our website, gcu.ac.uk/scholarships. And just a wee note that applications close on the 1st of June 2026. Okay, so without further ado, it would be great to hear from you. Please type any questions you have in the chat and I'll try my best to answer them for you.
Thank you very much for that, Gillian. Yeah, so if anybody has any questions, there's a chat box there. There's a Q&A function as well. So yeah, please go ahead and type if you have anything.
Don't be shy. There's no such thing as a silly question.
Okay, so is there any? If there's no questions, we'll give it another minute, and then we'll close up if not. Okay, I think we can go ahead and finish up there, Gillian. It doesn't look like there's any questions coming out. It was obviously a very comprehensive presentation, lots of detail.
We'll take that as a good sign, yes. Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much for that, Gillian. So just a reminder as well to those watching, this session is recorded, so if there is any questions that you have, you can get in touch with the relevant inquiries team. We can even get you in touch with Gillian if you'd like to ask a question directly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we hope you found this session useful for those in the audience today. So yeah, thank you again, and thank you very much, Gillian.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.